Hey, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. If you came over from the soccer specialist, I really appreciate you checking out this new channel as well. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, help us get rolling. And we are going to talk about the U.S. men's national team, as painful as it may be. But I have a lot of thoughts about last night's absolute disaster against Switzerland, 4 goals given up in the span of about 23 minutes in a 4-0 disaster. It seems like yesterday I was doing a video on their embarrassing 5-1 loss to Colombia. So from last year to this year, with only a year to go until the World Cup in America, it seems like not a lot has changed. We had things like this. This was pretty typical for what went on last night. This is just way, way too easy. Let's just play that ball across simply, give him lots and lots of space so he can take that shot. Not a great play by the keeper either. And yeah, wide open, wide open. Just let him tap that in. Nobody is playing any defense whatsoever. And this is sort of what went on with the U.S. national team all last night. It was an absolute disaster to bottom. Nothing about it was good enough. I mean, maybe Luna was good enough, but that's about it. I mean, from the coaching all the way down to the players. Switzerland, they made it look like they were playing against a U14 township club, not even a U14 youth national team. This is just Switzerland. Switzerland is in another class compared to the U.S. men's national team right now. I don't know. I always try and find a silver lining as a coach. Something I've always stressed with my players is, you mistakes are okay because you learn from the mistakes, and as long as you learn from your mistakes, you're going to become a better player because of it. No one develops without making mistakes, but so you're always trying to find that silver lining. I don't know where it is with this team right now. I really don't. That was absolutely an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. I think the first goal was scored at the 13-minute mark, and the fourth goal was scored at 36 minute mark. It's just I don't think there's any excitement from fans ahead of the World Cup, which is being played in America. The U.S. has been an absolute disaster for the past decade at this point, right? They had that 2-1 loss to Turkey this past weekend. Hopefully, there were some good things that went on. We know it was a group of players that hadn't really played together because of the soft golden generation, and so many of them sitting out. And we thought, you know what, we can build on those good things that happened in that game against Turkey. Turkey was not that the rankings are all that accurate from FIFA, but hey, they're ranked up there. But one game left heading into the Gold Cup, it seemed like a lot of fans decided to stay away. We can see that in this picture here. Doesn't really look like the huge events U.S. soccer promised us earlier this year. If you look at that upper deck, I know it can be hard to tell sometimes with the way they do it, but those are all empty seats, folks. Those are empty seats in the final tune-up before the Gold Cup, which is really the final big thing before the World Cup next summer. And it's disaster. Some of the things Walter Zimmerman said, it's really easy to look at one game or one half and say this is all going to pieces and we can't come back from this. Well, here's the thing. It's a lot more than that. It truly is. This is what the fourth loss in a row, the first time that has happened since 2007 for the men's national team. So, it's not good. And now we've got the Gold Cup coming up. Tyler Adams didn't play, so supposedly a foot injury that's not that big a deal. Okay, well, I guess, that gives other players a chance, but I don't want to hear excuses about this being some sort of B team because let's face it, again, the golden generation has really not given us any results against top level competition other than wins against Mexico. That's been about it. And it really looked like this team just didn't have it in them. They didn't have it in them even from a heart perspective, which is one of the things we talked about with the Turkey match that, at least they had a lot of players out there who wanted to play. And it seems like we've got a mix of some MLS players that maybe aren't good enough, but they want to be there. They want to represent their country and they're going to play hard. And some more talented players who are playing overseas who have no interest in representing their country and don't seem to want to work hard. I'm not sure how we meld those two things, but look, Luna, I think is someone who we can consider an A-team player. I think he's a positive. He's one of the one of the big reasons I will be following the Gold Cup as well to see how he develops. I think McGlynn, who I'm familiar with, being a big Philly Union guy and being someone who's as a coach and looking at what we want to change in America, has been a huge supporter in that. I think they've been on the forefront of what a true academy in the U.S. looks like, and they've produced a lot of good soccer players. I think he's got a chance at getting some real minutes with that A team and being a factor in the World Cup. I mean, look, man, I don't even know what to talk about with their keeper situation at this point. That used to be always, even when we just, didn't have it anywhere else, that always was a strength in the US. I mean, I don't know whether it's, coming from other sports or whatever, the good hand-eye coordination or what have you, but I don't know. Turner just, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Matt Turner back there. I think center back is a huge issue. I think Richards is holding it down, but I don't know what else that we have. I think Tim Ream's done. Tim Ream is done. Maybe a coaching position for him. I don't think Arfsten's not. He's not it, man. He's not it. There's the Zimmerman quote I was wrong, but I think yeah, this is you can't do this at this level. I mean, first of all, it wasn't a great first touch. I will say that, but that's just you can't butcher opportunities like that easily. Uh, you know, this is a tough one. I'm trying to find some positives. I really am. Like I said, Luna. I think that's my positive. Um, Tillman not showing enough, but definitely at least there's progress going forward. So, well, look, man, we got to stop pretending that this U.S. team is something that it's not, and stop talking about this golden generation because we've got more players playing overseas because the results simply haven't been there, and they've been around long enough now, even though some of them are still what we might call young, but they've been around long enough that we should have seen more results than we are getting from this team. And look, I know a lot of the players that we'll say will be the important players from the World Cup, obviously not around, but I think that's part of the problem. And again, like I just said, it's not like they've gotten these great results in past years. We've beaten Mexico. That was basically Berhalter's run, and I think what allowed him to stay around a lot longer is beating Mexico. That's basically it. There are no wins against any other what we would call top competition around the world with the U.S. national team in a long time. We've had a lot of hope, but there hasn't been any follow through with this team. I don't think things magically change with those players. Um, like I said, they lost 5-1 to Colombia a year ago under Berhalter. That game had all those the best players that we're talking about, that golden generation. That was their game that they played. But man, this is just look, there were just so many brutal moments by the team. We had, the pressers aren't going full speed. Uh, a lot of players seem to not have any understanding of where they were trying to pin the Swiss with their press, which allowed there to be massive gaps between the lines that Switzerland was able to play through. It was really easy for Switzerland to play out, and then lots and lots of space to break into when they were playing out. So I don't know going forward. It's just I know we've got a year, and in some ways a year can be a long time. And the other hand, it's here in the blink of an eye. And the players we have are the players we have. And in that time, can we clean things up? I'm at the point where I got to tell you, if this is going to be a flame out with the golden generation of the World Cup, I'd rather flame out with 11 new guys who really, really want to represent America in the World Cup and just move on from there. Let's let's see what our 18 to 22-year-old age group can do. But I'm partly kidding, but on the other hand, it would be nice to see a bunch of players who really want to play for the US in the World Cup. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Appreciate you checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. What you thought about the game, what you think their chances are in the Gold Cup. What do you think needs to change going into next year's World Cup, and so on and so forth. Smash the like button too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps out tremendously. I will talk to you later. Go have the day you deserve.